Hey folks, this is Cecil Touchon here. Um, I'm sitting here working on the show for coming up at Ferrari Gallery in Dallas, and I thought I'd give you a little tour of my studio and where the museum collection is inventoried, photographed, and archived here from my studio, essentially. And so I'll give you a little walk around of what I'm doing here as a collage artist. I have some of my books out. So I've got a lot of my collage books. Here's all of my own annual books of my own work since 2010. Every year I make a catalog of my own work, mostly for my own, documentary purposes. And so I spend a lot of time in the office, but this is right here. This is my mail art desk. So when I'm doing mail art, and I do mail art, mailing art to other artists, and so I have a bunch of bits and pieces. Like these are a few that have various stamps on them that are prints of pieces that I've done in the past that I'll be mailing out to some other collage artist somewhere in the world, as ask them how they're doing, what's up, and got all my stamps and the whole bit. So some of the time I spend there working on mail art. Then in here I've got all my collage art and works on paper in these drawers. And there's just many collages and drawings, works on paper, and it just kind of keeps going. And some supplies, like on this one, should be notebooks. Well, this notebook, for instance, has to do with my paintings related to musicality. So I have a lot of studies of ideas for musical style painting and drawing. So so I had these very long notebooks created for me down in Mexico when we used to live down there. So these are pages that I use for studies for what would music look like if you were drawing it. So it's intended to be like that. So then just collages after collages that go all the way back to the beginnings of my collage work, which started around 1982. And they just kind of go on and on. I mean, I've put many on the market and sold many of these collages, but I still have a massive number because these become the studies for larger scale paintings, which is mostly what I put out on the market at this point. So then this is my collage table that I designed to have some storage underneath, and about an 11-foot long table. As soon as I feel like I don't have enough room to move around, then I'll clean all this up. So this is a dining room table, but it also gets used to make frames or work on other things as they come in. Like I laid out all the pieces for this upcoming show on this table and got them ready for inventorying. Then basic kitchen. Then this is one of the painting studios and sometimes collage studio. I move my stuff around quite a bit based on the time of the year. Sometimes it's too sunny in here and sometimes it's too sunny in the other room. I rented this large house so that I'd have plenty of room for the easels to work at a very high level. And Then this wall I've been using, I was using this room for collage studio for the winter, and so I just hung the pieces as I made them up on this back wall here. And then this other studio right now is an additional collage table, or I'll use it to lay out the paper, because all of these canvases have a layer of paper on them, and then I do the paintings on top. And that's mostly so that I can get all of these sanding techniques into the surface that you couldn't do just on straight raw canvas. So these are all paintings that are working at the moment, and the red one in the other room is a commission, so that has to be done sometime before too long. And then I've got my painting center over there, where and then the lights, so I can work 24 hours a day if I can stay up that late, and just keep all my paints here. And let's see, what else? Here's where I usually stack a lot of the canvases that are working or that are getting ready to go out to a gallery someplace. That's all stacked up like this. So if we go through the laundry room, now this is a big mess out here. I'm getting ready to do a lot of reorganizing because I had the downstairs painted. So I took all the paintings off of the walls, and they're all stacked up down here, but I'm going to put them back in the house at some point. So out here's where I keep all of my frames for the little panels that I make for the collages. And I had these lights installed for adding more light to this table. So underneath this table are all of my, on both sides there's stacks and stacks of collage material here, and on the other side, usually kind of organized by type of material that it is. And I've been out here looking at things, so I've got a lot of these are still just kind of laying around. So I'll pull these out, I'll look around for the material I want to use. A lot of this is leftover stuff from framing a lot of the little panels, and got my wiring for all of that. Then back here is the painting rack. So all the spare paintings are right here. And I was telling Zach I'm getting ready to clear this whole area out and then move the archives into this 3-car garage and start doing work on the archives. And that's, I think that's pretty much the whole picture. So but let's not end in the ugly part of the house here. So there's that. And otherwise, I have plenty of room to move around and take care of stuff and do all of these different stations, so to speak. And I love that. You know, as a young artist, this was kind of my dream scenario. And at this point, I'm living it out exactly, essentially how I imagined what I wanted to do. Because I like to live in the studio. I don't like my studio to be in a house I'm living in. I like to live in the studio. So this entire studio is a place where there are some bedrooms upstairs, but the main point is that when I wake up in the morning, I just come down and start working with my cup of coffee and keep going. So here's the current commission I'm working on. And Rosalia came down and spent 2 or 3 days getting it this far along. And that's the end of her part of the job. And then I'll take it from here and do all of the additional techniques until all the shading is done and highlighting and sanding and all the things that'll happen between now and the finished product. And then other than that, that's pretty much the whole studio operation around here. And thanks for joining us.